Hi, and welcome to Finding Bliss in Real Estate. We are on episode number 9. I am ecstatic that I've been committed enough to do 9 weeks in a row. So I am Morgan Larson, your host and founder of Bliss Real Estate team here in Dorado County. I'm at home in my home office here in Placerville. As you can see, we're getting ready to send out some mailers behind me there. So sorry for the mess. But anyways, very grateful and happy to be back at you this week. And we've got some good topics. So, well, I like to geek out over the stats. And this week we are going to be talking about both Dorado County's real estate market, where it's at, and a little bit of forecasting on where it might go. And then also great blog put out there by a local Sacramento appraiser that I wanted to show you some of what he's talking about, which is the market slowing down at all? So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to show you, we're going to start off in the trends. Oh, this is not the right one. Hold on, new share. Oh, well, that's fine. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. Okay, here we go. So these are the stats I want to show you. So this is what realtors can look at. Some know how to interpret this stuff, others don't. I'm hoping I can help you interpret it. But what I am showing here is for all of Dorado County. So that does include part of South Lake Tahoe as well. So just know that Dorado Hills up to South Lake Tahoe, it's only single family homes. This does not include condos or half plexes or commercial real estate or anything along those lines. So just know that this is probably serves most of you guys. And if you have details about your specific scenario, of course, I'm always available to answer that. And so what we've got here is the last 15 months. Light green are houses for sale each month, new to the market houses for sale. Dark green are houses that have sold that month. And then the red line is how many went pending, as in they were on the market and they accepted a contract. Okay, so they're not closed, they're not officially sold, but they did have a buyer write an offer. And so you can see here, this is March of 2020. So right as the pandemic's hitting, we were starting to see the progression of more homes on the market. 571 homes came on the market in March 2020 in Dorado County, and 221 of them sold. And another 185 went pending. And so that was a fairly typical what we had been seeing the last couple years before. And then of course, all of a sudden, all of us have to stay home. And so instead of this line being pretty steep in April and May, instead it sort of tapered, plateaued, I guess would be the word, and then a drop off where we usually see kind of a sharp line up until June, maybe even July, with then a slow drop off. Instead, we see a plateau and a drop down. And then on the inverse is houses that have sold. So you can see back, we were getting sort of normal numbers, and then it actually went up because of course we had the couple of different factors, interest rates down, and just a lot of buyer interest, right? A lot of buyers who were coming here from the Bay Area specifically. And then we were sort of on this even course. As many homes as were for sale, were selling. And then December happened. And December has always traditionally been a month where fewer homes come on the market, which just, if this doesn't prove it to you that listing in December is a good thing, then I don't know what will. But last December, so few people in our county decided to list that all of a sudden things went nuts. You can see that the sold is quite a bit above what went active. And in fact, that means we're clearing out past inventory, stuff from back here that nobody wanted. It got bought in December. It got bought. It's still getting bought. So what we've seen over the last 5 months is, if you look at May this year, 240 new homes came up for sale versus the 571 the year before. That is a 60% change, 60% difference. And that's basically what we've seen this entire winter through the springtime, 60% fewer homes on the market. And that, of course, is due to a lot of facts. One of the biggest ones that I've seen is fear from my clients who want to sell and maybe make a change, whether it's out of state or here in the county. They want to make a change, but they're afraid that they're going to sell so fast they won't find something new. And I believe I've had a whole conversation on that, but it is a risk, and it is like jumping off a cliff, but we've made some great miracles happen. So I just want to say it can be done. Don't be afraid to list your home. The more of you guys who get out of that turtle shell and come on the market, the more opportunity everybody has to sort of trade homes for what they really want. So anyways, we are still in this progression of not enough homes for sale compared to how many people are actually buying homes. And some of these stats, just know, are going to be some off-market homes that are showing up in here. And that's one of the reasons we can see more homes sold than going on the market. Another is sucking up all the inventory that just didn't sell from before, that's still hanging in there on the market, didn't sell for whatever reason. Usually the reason being either they were priced way too high for the market or way too high for their condition, or the condition in general prohibited a lot of buyers. So still in the same spot. Still seeing more homes sold than homes being listed, still way too few homes. So even though it seems frantic for buyers, really, if you think about it, we may have a similar amount of buyers as maybe a little bit more buyers than last year. Sorry, I'm pointing with my finger. 221, we've definitely got more buyers. We can handle more people buying. But I think if we had 571 homes on the market, not every single one of them would sell. I think we'd probably still be in the 350, 400 homes a month. But if we actually had the amount of homes for sale for you guys who I know want to sell your home, if you were on the market, I think that it would be a little bit more even like it was a year ago. So let's take a look to what is this done for pricing. Obviously, low inventory, high demand equals prices going up. And we've just had a steady incline since about October, real steady here. So just in the last about 8-9 months, we've seen the most increase. But if you look in the last month, we've had a 3.3% increase. So month over month, 3%. If your house was worth 100,000, it's now worth 103,000. If your house is worth 500,000, it's now worth 515,000. It's a pretty good return on your money in 1 month. And year over year, from May 2020 to now, 21.5% on average, prices have gone up in our county. And it does depend on which community you're in. El Dorado Hills is different from Cameron Park, which is different from Placerville. Totally get it. But overall, everybody's values have gone up 21.5%. And we are seeing 1 to 3% per month. On average in the county, 3.3%. So really good things have happened with our prices. In particular, if for some reason you're wanting to go somewhere less expensive, like a lot of people are wanting to go out of state, their market may still be crazy, but your equity is definitely going to help you out in the other markets. It'll even help you out if you're staying here within our own market. Something else to note is time on the market. This is actually, let me change this over here. Let's do days on market. Okay, so this trajectory over here between 40 and 55 days was sort of what we'd been seeing for a few years prior to last year. And that's average days on market, which means that for every house that there is, there may be some on at 42 days, there's going to be one that's on at 80 and one that's on for 5 days, right? So the average comes out to the 42. Unfortunately, they don't show us the median, which would be another interesting thing. So anyhow, you can see that it started taking a drop off, and come November in particular, we really saw homes with less days on the market here, a little bit of an uptick over the winter, but some of that and some of this actually has to do with houses that came on earlier on in the pandemic or earlier on in the real estate market, that we did have a number of homes actually that there was a pause for 10 to 15 days where like nothing was going under contract because we weren't allowed to show a home. And so some homes had artificial extra days on the market. Some homes had been on the market and started to get sucked up as the urgency happened. Okay. And then what we've really seen in the last few months is because we've already sucked up all that inventory, the days on market has really dropped. So now we are at, I think, an all-time low that I've seen in El Dorado County in the last 11 years. So 13 days on market is the average. And what we're really seeing is most homes are scooped up after the first weekend that they're on the market. So that puts them anywhere from 3 to 7 days. And then there are some that take an extra week to sell, right? So overall, I mean, this is incredibly low time on the market, which is, part of the fear for sellers that it's all going to happen so fast, which it does. But if you're working with someone who can set great expectations and show you the plan and show you how it's going to come together, there is nothing to fear. And if you're a buyer, all this simply means is, hey, it's not a bad time to buy. It's still a great time to buy. You've got so much buying power. And there's lots of reasons to become a homeowner, even while prices are steadily increasing. But days on market means you need to get there right away. There is no waiting. And if you want the house, so does somebody else. And so make an informed decision about what your offer is going to look like if you're interested, but do it quick and make sure you're working with someone who's willing to get you to the house quick. So that is our days on market. And then this is also something that is exciting and different and new is this. We had hovered in El Dorado County in the time that I've been selling, the 93 to 97% of list price on average is what homes are selling for. So again, obviously an arbitrary number, but if your house was listed for $100,000, it was selling for $93,000 to $97,000. Okay. And then last fall, first time I'd ever seen it, hovering around 98%. So real close, which means if it's on average at 99, then some houses are selling at, 99, 98, and some are selling at 101, 102. Well, look where the average, this is the average now, 103 of asking price. You still have to be within reason, but buyers are coming in above asking price consistently because many of them have lost out. So that's the expectation now. The expectation is the list price is the starting point. With the right strategies and the right marketing, I'm seeing a lot of homes actually go for more like 7 to 10% over asking in all price ranges. Just sold a $1.2 million listing for 1.35. Just sold a 299 for 315. So, it obviously dramatic difference in numbers, but percentage wise, we're seeing, quite a bit over the 3% on many occasions. So yes, buyers, just know when you're looking at a price online, there is no negotiating down. That is not a factor. The negotiating is up because you're competing. It's like going to the Olympics for the 100 meter. Okay, none of us are going to go to the Olympics, but high school for the 100 meter and being like, now there's 20 people on the field instead of 5. So you're going to have to run faster to get what you want. Okay. And then really, those are the major items. We've just seen major increases in price, which does mean, offers are higher and higher above asking price right now. But here's the interesting thing. And I've noticed this, but I wasn't really sure if it was me or if it was really something that was legitimate. But it did feel like all of a sudden I was getting all my buyers into contract on homes. And so I thought, has something shifted a little bit? Are we slowing down? And I read a blog this week from Ryan Lundquist, who is a local appraiser here in Sacramento, and he does a fabulous job with his blog and keeping people up to date. He is out of Sacramento. Sacramento's market is similar enough to ours that I want to share his latest piece about, are we slowing down? So let's take a look. I'm going to share my screen again. All right, here we are. Is the housing market starting to slow? And he just put this out on the 8th. And his quick summary, I love it. Market's still bananas, but we're seeing some slight slowing. And I love it because it's really so slight. And he said it's more like the housing market was driving 135 miles per hour and now it's driving 127. So still crazy fast, but maybe just a hair slower. So here's a couple subtle examples to look at. And this is what I've been feeling out there. Taking slightly longer to sell. I wouldn't say that I'm really feeling this part. He said in May, it took only 6 days to sell. That was the median. So he's pulling extra stats, which is great. In the SAC region, while pendings over the last 4 weeks took 7 days to get into contract, meaning the ones that sold in May were at a 6-day median versus the ones that are going to finish selling in June here are at a 7-day median. So just slightly longer. There's a lot of reasons for that. It could be strategies. I know that I usually put my houses on the market on a Wednesday or a Thursday. We're going to respond on Monday or Tuesday, and there might be counteroffers, which could take us to Wednesday. So that would be basically 7 days. So it does kind of depend on how the realtor does that. Fewer multiple offers. This is what I've noticed strongly. In May, we saw the number of multiple offers slough by 6%, as seen in the graph below. We're still basically at all-time high levels, but the percentage of multiple offers is slightly lower than it was. So it looks like interesting. Okay, so this is short term here. We were at almost maybe 75% of the homes were getting multiple offers. I'm again pointing at the screen. Sorry about that. 75% were getting multiple offers, and now we're down to about 72% or so getting multiple offers. And I think this is for 2 reasons. I do think that we have had some buyers, a little bit of the urgency's gone. Maybe some of the buyers have come off of the market for various reasons, either discouraged. I've had discouraged buyers say, I'm going to wait, or they got the house. They got a house and now they're moving on. They're living their life. So that's one reason we're seeing fewer multiple offers. I think the other is overly ambitious sellers. So I've had a number of people that I've chatted with recently who really want to sort of overextend that list price. And I encourage to list at a fair market value based on what has sold. There's lots of strategies out there, and I can go through them sometime, but I usually encourage sort of the middle strategy, not too low, not too high, but just right, good old Goldilocks. And that way you're going to get more multiple offers and be able to have not only favorable price, but favorable terms. So you'll get bid up on price, you'll get bid up on terms. It'll be great. It's a win-win for you as the seller. If you are overly ambitious, buyers can see all the inventory, guys. They know what's out there. They know if your house is not comparable to whatever else is out there at the same price range. And so fewer buyers will show the home and fewer buyers will write. It doesn't mean you won't get an offer. It doesn't mean you won't sell over asking price. It just means you're going to have fewer people coming to the table. So I think that's why we've seen fewer multiple offers, is more ambitious sellers are out there. We're all here in the news. We think we can list for whatever we want. I get it. We all want the most money possible. With multiple offers, you will get the most money possible. So you do want to price yourself where you're going to get more than one. Okay, so buyers paid slightly less above asking, which is interesting because I haven't necessarily been feeling this, but it's a slight movement. He said in May, buyers paid an average of $20,975 above asking price, while in April, they had been paying $22,247 over asking price. And he even says, this is such a minor difference. He's hesitant to talk about it because that kind of stuff can kind of shift and come and go. And so it could very well change again for June, because I would beg to differ. And I mean, this is just my, like, what I've seen out there, both on the listing and the buy side. But I actually am feeling like buyers are offering more of our asking price. They're just like, hey, I want to get this done with. I'm going to write my strongest possible offer and I'm going to go for it and I'm going to get the house. And so I've seen actually higher percentages over asking in the last couple months than even in December, January, February. And then he's saying about lower sales price to list price ratio. So I think minute difference, 103.8% in April versus 103.3% in May. Again, just slight different variable. And then he's saying he's also hearing from other real estate agents that they're seeing slightly fewer offers and having slightly fewer showings, which is definitely what I've been experiencing on both sides. I feel like when I've been representing the buyers, it's more like 3 to 6 offers instead of what we had been hearing in January, February, March, even into April, where it was more like 10 to 20 offers. So definitely backing down, coming down to, 3 to 6 offers, much more manageable if we're competing. And then, lost my train of thought. So yes, fewer multiple offers is what I'm feeling, but it doesn't mean that the offers aren't as strong. I do think we are seeing some people reduce prices. Again, we're at a point where I know, and I do understand why somebody's selling their home would just want to list at a really high price and test it out. And maybe somebody would just be excited and write that price. Well, if you test too high, the test is a test. And, sometimes we don't always pass the test. So I do think that we're seeing some overly ambitious home sellers or agents that aren't setting their sellers up for success. So overall, market in El Dorado County as a home seller is fabulous. We still have some of the fears for both buyers and sellers about finding the one, which is still driving prices up in our market. But really, there's nothing to be afraid of. It's still a housing market. And, whether you buy or sell in a fast or slow market, in particular, if you're doing both at the same time, you're buying and selling in the same style market. So you're not really overpaying per se. Okay, there's tons I could talk about, but I just wanted to keep it quick and give you guys the market overview for the county for this time of year here. We're in June already. I can't believe it. If you have questions about what I just talked about, if you have questions about your particular home, and even if you're in the baby beginning stages of considering making a move, or you just need some information to help you make the best decision for yourself and your family, I am always happy to answer any of those calls, even have a meeting. So feel free to give me a call. The best way to reach me personally is 530-503-5225, or you can email me morganlarson@blissreteam.com. It is in the show notes, along with the article from the appraiser. I can't include the trend graphics, unfortunately, but in our blog post, we may be able to post some of those. So if you like this show, if you like hearing about stats, if you like hearing about El Dorado County, local news, if you like to meet local business owners, please like our page, follow us, subscribe to the channel. Let us know in the comments what you like or don't like, or if you have any questions that we can answer on the show. I'm always looking for more topics. So please just reach out. We'd love to hear from you. So you guys have a great June, second week of June. I think we're coming up on Father's Day, and I will see you guys next Friday. Talk to you soon.